a little bit about the 4 stages of effective delegation, how to use them, and why you care. And I'm bringing up delegation because this is a major topic with anybody trying to build a business. How do you actually delegate? How do you take the challenge of all of the work off of your shoulders and help other people to deliver the work, right? And the reason why people don't delegate is they get very stuck in why I don't know if they'll deliver the quality that I'm used to. I don't know if they will do things exactly the way that I expect them to be done. I don't know how to manage people. And I get all of that, but the challenge is that if you don't find a way to delegate, you will get stuck doing everything yourself. And there comes a point where you have to actually let go and let someone else do the work. But I'm going to take you through the 4 stages of delegation and how you actually manage through that. I'm just going to move myself over here a little bit so that I don't end up on the slides. Okay, so the first stage of delegation is the one that we're all pretty familiar with, right? And this stage of delegation is the one of you assign the tasks to somebody, but you keep the decision making. So you as the owner, as the delegator, you hold on to that decision making, and somebody else does the work. And that requires a lot of thinking on your part, and then the execution is with them. So a lot of people get stuck here. A lot of people are just here trying to assign tasks the whole time. And that can be absolutely exhausting because of the amount of effort that you have to put into actually managing the tasks. So the next stage is to assign the responsibility for decisions, but not the responsibility for results. So you might say to somebody that they can make decisions in the execution of their business or of the tasks that they are responsible for, but they don't actually own the results of it. So you're still owning the results. You're still focused on making sure that the results are precise and exactly what you want. And they are making some tentative decisions as they move along. Okay, so the next one is, they determine the results, but they don't own the outcome. So they own the results of their particular action, but not the entire outcome with the client or with the actions that they're taking. And the final one is where the employee actually owns the outcome. And this is true delegation, right? At this point, you're actually saying you are responsible for this piece of work. And being responsible for that piece of work means that they are responsible for delivering the outcome. That means whether they succeed, whether they fail, they are responsible for owning the outcome. And this is the challenge that people face. So we all get stuck in this assigning tasks. We start maybe letting people make some decisions as to how they're going to do it, and then maybe people start actually owning some of the piecemeal results, but not the bigger picture. It's hard to actually turn over the entire outcome to somebody, but that's what has to happen. Now, how do you do this effectively? Well, there are 2 things to think about here, right? The first one is if you have a new employee or you haven't trained your employees, then you are always going to be stuck in the assigning tasks but keeping the decision making, right? You can't get out of that because it's somebody new, somebody who doesn't understand what you're doing. You haven't trained them. So without the training in place, they're never going to be able to accept responsibility. Right? But the more you train them, the more they become a part of your business, the easier it is for them to get to owning their outcome. Now, I've worked with a lot of clients who have people, they might have a core team of 3 or 4 people who've been there forever, right? And they can delegate to them. But the problem is it takes 3 or 4 years for someone to get to that forever stage where they feel like they can actually delegate the outcome. So it's the training and the indoctrination of the new people coming into the company that are going to allow you to get to having them to own the outcome. And part of that training and indoctrination is actually this concept of cohesion and how cohesive the group is. Now, to create a cohesive group, you must have defined values, vision, mission for the company. You must know what it is. You must have that core so powerfully defined that it's easy for somebody to own the outcome. Because if they know where you're going with the company, if they know what the expectations are, if they know what the values are, then it's easy for them to make decisions and actually execute in line with those expectations, in line with those values. So developing this cohesion as a team is critically important. If you have low cohesion, if you have a team that has not gelled, you really cannot go beyond assigning tasks. But later, if you've developed the cohesion, then you can turn over owning the outcome. Now, and the other part of this is that the more cohesive the team, the more defined your cohesive elements are, the easier it is to train and gain that commitment from people. Because if you're hiring for values, if you're hiring for that understanding or that cohesion, then the training need is going to be less. But if you're all over the place, then the training is going to take years. So this idea of cohesion and training go hand in hand with your ability to delegate. Now the question is, why do you care? Why do you care about delegating effectively? And the reason is effort. Right? The reason is effort. If you are going to scale a business, you as the manager, as the owner, you have to reduce your effort. And if you are assigning tasks but keeping the decision making, if it's all on you, then the effort is actually 80% you and 20% them. It might be 90% you and 10% them. But the point is, it's you who has to use your gray matter to manage this. And you become the capacity constraint. And it's only as you go on and start assigning more and more responsibility that you can start to remove yourself to the equation. And you want to get to the point where it's 90% them, 10% you, 95% them, 5% you, 99% them, 1% you. That's where you can scale the business. If you're stuck in this area where you have to assign every task, you have to define everything that people are going to do, then you are never going to be able to relieve yourself of enough of the effort to be able to scale the business. You must get to that point where employees are owning the outcome, right? So what do you need to do? You have to focus on defining that cohesion, vision, values, and mission, and work on allowing yourself to let other people succeed and let other people ultimately fail. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments or send me an email, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.